Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, there are places in the world that are simply so creepy they'll have you convinced they're haunted. And urban explorer Dax Ward has lifted the lid on one house in Thailand that has an incredibly gruesome history, including being the site of 4 murders. The 40-year-old, from Arkansas, visited the unnerving location in Bangkok, Thailand, earlier this month and shared these ominous images from his time exploring the inside of the condemned house. It has remained abandoned since an entire family was killed inside its walls. According to locals, an affluent family who occupied the home in the late 80s and early 90s all suffered cruel fates, with the father being shot by a neighbor, while the mother and her 2 young daughters were bludgeoned to death by disgruntled servants. Dax said, "My friend Gang, a Thai paranormal investigator, told me the details of the wild backstory of this location, known as Goddess Kali Palace. In the late 1980s an affluent family of 4 lived here, a father, mother and 2 daughters. The father was the pillar of both his family and the local community, a successful prosecutor, a man of noted wealth and prestige. This all came to an end when the father had a quarrel with a neighbor in the middle of an alley near his home, which ended with the neighbor shooting the father and killing him. The urban explorer said the house was named after the mother appointed herself an avatar of the powerful and wrathful Hindu goddess Kali, and began to torture her servants. When the servants fought back, they beat her to death alongside her 2 daughters. Dax added, once the family's provider was no longer there, the mother had to find a way to support her family. She appointed herself to be an avatar of the powerful and wrathful Hindu goddess Kali, with the house becoming a place to worship and make merit, meaning to give the goddess money to bring about good fortune. The mother acquired 4 servants to work for her and according to locals, she was insufferably cruel. She tortured them when she thought they misbehaved and kept them captive in the home, treating them as prisoners who lived to serve the goddess. The servants eventually had enough and devised a plan to escape and punish their captor. They used a blunt object and beat her to death. As they were leaving, both of the daughters awoke and saw what they had done. They then murdered the daughters in the same way as the mother, and left all 3 bodies on the 2nd floor. The house has been abandoned ever since. Locals are convinced the house is haunted, and as a result of the brutal murders associated with the property, it has never been sold and has remained abandoned since the deaths occurred in the 90s. Dax said, there were a lot of sounds inside the dark ground floor area, dripping water, wind, and at one point breaking glass, which I attributed to one of the many bats who live there who were disturbed by our presence. It felt a bit strange at times, as these places are anything but comfortable. If there are ghosts, hopefully they can sense that my intentions are purely to learn about the site and tell its story. Get the news you want straight to your inbox. Sign up for a Mirror newsletter here.